This is a video showing you how to make some circular patterns that move in Fusion. Let's get started. I'm going to first create a new project in here that I can save my files in. So I'm going to call this project by clicking on New Project. This is going to be called Miniterm or Machines or something like that, whatever you'd like, as long as you can remember it. And then I'm going to save this file in there by going to File, Save, and I'm going to call this Circular Patterns. And I'm going to save it in Miniterm right here. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is start a sketch. So I'm going to close my data panel so I have lots of room to work, and start a sketch. If you haven't used Fusion before, the basics of how to navigate, if you're using a mouse, which I recommend you do, scroll wheel zooms in and out. Clicking the scroll wheel pans side to side, and holding Shift and clicking the scroll wheel will orbit like this. We're going to start by starting a sketch on the bottom plane here, and we're going to start drawing a rectangle that'll give us a sense of scale. So I'm going to do R for rectangle, click in the origin, and click off to the side. Then I'm going to use dimensioning to make it the right size, using Create, Sketch Dimension, or shortcut D. I'm going to click on this side. I'm going to make this one, let's do these 6 inches, and then I'm going to do this at 6 inches as well. If your units are not already in inches, you'll have had to fix that already under Document Settings, Units, Inches, and click right here. Make sure your units are in inches, and you set that as default. All right, we've got our file saved, we've got our scale, we've got our units correct, and now we're going to work on making a circular pattern in the middle here. So I'm going to find the middle of this first by using a line. If you use L for line, click on the line tool or go to Create Line. Find the middle with the triangle. Click once. Do not click and drag. And then click on the opposite side to get that line down the middle. To get out of your line tool, hit Escape on the keyboard, the little ESC button, and then click on the line you just drew. If you hit X on your keyboard now, this will become a dotted construction line as opposed to a real line. I'm going to do that for all of my lines and make them construction lines so they don't actually show up in my final sketch. Now I'm going to mark the center with a very small circle. So I'm going to go to C for circle, or click on my center diameter circle tool, or go to Circle, Center Diameter Circle, and find the middle of this line with the origin, with the triangle. I'm going to make a circle, and I'm going to dimension this circle with D for dimension. Click on the edge of the circle, click out to the side. Let's make this very small. Let's do 0.125 or 1/8 of an inch right there. We'll probably use a drill to make it the actual size we want to later. Now I'm going to draw some pattern here, and you can do, this is where you can get creative and do what you want, but do not use the Fit Point Spline button. The computer program we use to laser cut doesn't work with that one, so we want to use a different one. I'm going to go to the line tool to start, and also I can do the arc tool to make curves in here as well. I'm going to probably start with a circle for mine, so we have some sort of hub in the middle of this design. I'm going to make that hub about 0.75 inches. You can choose something different. And then I'm going to go to Create Arc. Create Arc, 3-point arc, and I'm going to start from this point, click on a different point, and then bend my curve the way that I want to. Then I'm going to do another one here, click, click, and bend this one this way, something like that. And now I can use my offset curve button now to use the offset button here to click on that and then make this line, give it a thickness. I'm going to go this way so it overlaps my center. And then I'm going to draw another line that connects these points with my line tool. And I can use my scissors to trim away this extra little bit down there. And I also am going to want to trim that eventually, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. Okay. There's some funny bits about this curve. I think it's okay though. We can use it. I'm going to go to create circular pattern in order to replicate it. After I hit circular pattern, I'm going to click on everything that I'd like to replicate in the objects over here, and then I'm going to select my center point as this center point right here. And this would be cool to see a bunch of times, maybe 10, maybe even 15 or something like that. And we can click OK. Now I'm going to use my scissors tool if I want to trim away the lines I don't need, because we want to have only, I think you can get rid of all of this stuff here. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm not going to do it all right now, but I'll get rid of some of my circle elements. And you would want to really clean this thing up so that you've got a good shape for the laser cutter. And you don't want to cut any extra lines on that laser cutter. So this actually involves quite a bit of work. I'm going to pretend like I'm done with it right now so I don't waste your time. And we're going to take this over to the laser cutter to cut. So this is an intermediate step if you'd like to actually make this thing. You would go to Finish Sketch, and then in your sketches, down arrow, right-click on Sketch 1, and say Save as a DXF, put it on a flash drive, and then you can go cut it. Like so.